Thank you very much and welcome to all and good afternoon. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that we are in Treaty 1 territory, the home and traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Inuit, Cree, and Dakota peoples, and in the national homeland of the Red River Métis. Our drinking water comes from Shoal Lake 40 First Nation in Treaty 3 territory. I'd like to introduce the panel and the secretary of the board, as well as the assessor. The panel this afternoon via Zoom is Brian Carlin, and to my immediate left is Robert Krause. Myself, I'm going to be chairing today's meeting. My name is Mike Colatriglio. From the assessment department, we have Stephen Zabudny. And from the administrative personnel from the board, we have Phoebe Graywood. To the Zoom participants of this hearing, please note you are placed in a waiting room until your property is called upon. When it is your turn, you will be admitted into the meeting. Kindly follow along on the City of Winnipeg's Border Revision YouTube channel for the hearing process. Once the host admits you into the hearing, please close or mute your YouTube player. You will then be permitted to speak with respect to your property. Once your hearing is concluded, you can leave the meeting. We will be hearing application for revision of the assessment roll in accordance with the Municipal Assessment Act. The matters for which revision is requested have been described in each application, and we will limit discussion to those matters. The statements that are made at this hearing are sworn testimony, and anyone speaking to the matters must be sworn in. Be advised that comparisons of assessments of properties are not considered evidence of market value by the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is appointed annually by council and is independent of it and the city administration. It makes its decisions on the basis of evidence provided at this hearing and issues a written order that will be mailed to all parties as soon as possible. Please note that the board's decisions with respect to an application may be appealed to the Manitoba Municipal Board if matter pertains to assessed value or classification, or to the Court of King's Bench if matter pertains to the application of exemptions from taxation. Should you wish to appeal, information on how to do so will be included with the board's order. With respect to the hearing process, I will confirm the points of appeal with your property to be addressed with each applicant following the swearing in. We will then have the assessor's testimony followed by questions that the applicant may have, and then the applicant's testimony followed by questions. Each side will have an opportunity to summarize if they wish. Once all evidence about the application has been brought forward, the applicant may leave. The process will repeat for each item on the docket today. The session will close after all applications have been heard, and the board will deliberate in private and make its decisions. You will receive the board's decision by registered mail as soon as possible. As information, all public hearings are live streamed, recorded, and will be part of the public record. We'll be hearing items 1 and 2, 4, 7, 8, 10, and 14 on our docket today. Ms. Graywood, please affirm the assessor and the applicant's testimony.
Mr. Zabudny, please state your full name.
Stephen Zabudny.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
I do.
Great, so I'm just gonna put the majority of you in the waiting room, applicants. Second here. We've got the applicants in the waiting room here.
Okay.
Hey, quick question, Mike.
Yes, go ahead.
I do have a procedural question for you before
Go
we
ahead.
let anybody in. I will have to recuse myself on number 10. How do I, because I do know the applicant.
Yeah, when that item comes up, you can be put into the room to just watch if you choose, and then we will bring you back after it's been heard. Fair?
Perfect. Yeah, so that's item 10 today.
Okay. Please bring it up when we're getting close to that, okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the information. So we have no one from 276 Yale Avenue available at this point.
No registration, no case.
Okay, so we will leave that to possibly the end. We'll deal with that if we have the moment to do that. Then we go on to item 2. That is 284 Lemaire.
Just let the applicant in here.
Yes, please. Have them sworn in, please.
Right, Mr. Medill, can you hear us? Mr. Medill, I'm just going to swear you in here, so I'll get you to unmute. All right, can I get you to state your full name?
Michael Medill.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Zabadi, can we have your presentation on 284 Lemaire Street?
Yeah, subject property we're looking at today is roll number 03014447700, also known as 284 Lemaire Street. It is in the neighborhood area of Richmond Lakes. It is a one-story single-family dwelling built in 2001 with an effective year built in 2001. Living area of the subject property is 1,247 square feet. It has a full basement, which is not finished. We have one full bathroom, one half bathroom, and one shower. There is central air conditioning. We have a multiple attached garage, and the dwelling sits on a lot that's 5,393 square feet. We have a bus route influence and a light traffic influence on the property. And we have the 2025 assessed roll at 427,000. I have 4 comparables I'm presenting today. These comparables all are in the neighborhood of Richmond West, with the exception of comparable 1, which is in Park LaSalle. They are all one-story single-family dwellings built between 1997 to 2010, with an effective year built of 1997 to 2010. Square footage ranges from 1,017 square feet to 1,263 square feet. They all have full basements and they all have basement finish. Comparable 1 has 1 full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms, and 1 shower. Comparable 2 has 1 full bathroom, 1 half bathroom, and 1 shower. Comparable 3 has 1 full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms, and 1 shower. And comparable 4 has 2 full bathrooms, 1 half bathroom, and 1 shower. All the properties have central air conditioning. Comparable number 3 has a fireplace. All comparables have multiple attached garages. The lot sizes of the comparables range from 4,173 square feet to 9,180 square feet. All the comparables have influences. Comparable 1 has a park influence. Comparable 2 has a commercial adjacent influence and a heavy traffic influence. Comparable 3 has an internal corner influence. Comparable 4 has a bus route, medium traffic, and school influence. These sales took place between June of 2021 to February of 2023, and they have sold with a range of 417,000 to 522,000. The price per square foot ranges from $382 a square foot to $443. We have a time adjusted sale price range between 448,000 to 503,000, with a time adjusted price per square foot of $379 to $448 per square foot. My recommendation is to maintain the current assessment of 427,000 for 2025, as supported by these comparable sales. I have included some extra information here. We have spoken to the applicant in the past, addressing some concerns that the applicant had with the fact that the subject property was a former grow operation in the early 2000s. So I did a market analysis here. Basically, I had a list of former grow ops, and I found which properties out of the list have sold in a reference period. So this market analysis here, I'll kind of go through the first page to give a basic understanding of what's going on here. So I took the property that was a current grow up, in this case on the first page of the market analysis here is 26 Marnie Place. I listed some attributes about the property, and then I listed the search criteria in MLS I used to pull up a range of sales. And this was to determine if the fact that a home was a former grow operation would affect the value. And based on the sales that I've looked through, I have a few here. It seems to not affect where they end up in the range of sales. So I want to include that to kind of show that former grow operations may not have an effect on the value based off the market evidence that I found. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Savani. Do you have questions for the assessor and the information he's provided this afternoon, Mr. Medill?
Nothing other than you can't predict any situation based on what they sold at the time. Every situation ends up being different of what somebody decides and finds out and inquires on what they want to pay for based on the degrading information it's been situation it's been put on
Do you have a question,
regarding
sir,
you
the
guys
assessor?
listing it as a grow or having it
My apologies
public that it was
for
a former
interrupting,
co-op.
Mr. McGill. But do you have a question for the assessor on the information that he's provided? Is there a question?
No.
Thank you very much. Questions,
It,
Carlo?
actually, yeah, I do. Sorry.
Go ahead.
What is absolutely bizarre, they sent out a somewhat a reasonable amount in the early part of 24 of 333,000. How does it go from almost 100,000 more a couple months later? Who comes up with that decision?
So at that time, a staff member had reviewed the property. We had a modifier in the property to take into account that the property was a former grow based on a review done prior to the legalization of marijuana. So upon further review, we decided that the modifier was not necessary anymore, as there was no reason to have a negative adjustment downwards on the assessment based off the fact that it was a former grow up. So it was just an updated modifier. We believe that it's not necessary anymore, given the fact that times have changed and the given the fact that marijuana is now legal, it's not a factor in the market value of the home.
It's legal, but it's not legal to do a substantial grow up in a property that degrades it, that somebody modified the property to do it. And you can't guarantee, you can guarantee, I guess, you send me a certificate stating that this doesn't apply anymore. Also have every shred removed off of the internet that somebody can't do a search and find your information in there somewhere that you placed through the closing it down. That's what's degrading it, is that information that is put out there, and it's still on the internet. You could
Okay, that's
give
not,
me.
okay, you can put that forward in your argument, sir, but at this point, I just want questions.
Yeah, okay. That's my last question is, how does it go from 289 current to 333, something somewhat reasonable, then a jump to 427? That's absolutely crazy. It's
Okay,
like
so
it's just become a
Let's
double
give the-
property.
Let's give the assessor a moment to try and answer that, please.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, we had that modifier on the property, so although there was a large increase, I believe that perhaps we may have been low before, and we had time to review it this time around, and the fact that we removed that modifier off of it to would be the fact why it increased so much. It's not. It can be looked at, maybe we were low before, right? It's just based on the comparables I looked at in the market analysis, that value seems appropriate. Whether or not we're low before, I guess doesn't really matter. We're correct. I believe we're correct with our value now. So
Mr. Savani, was that previously at a previous reference date? What he's talking about?
Yes, I believe, yeah.
Then that needs to be explained to him.
Yeah, so now we're looking at 2025. This is a reference date based on April 1st, 2023. The previous assessments were based on a different reference date. So 2024 and 2023 are based on a reference date of April 1st, 2021. So given the fact that we're looking at 2025, any sales that took place prior to the previous assessments were based on a reference date of April 1st, 2021. So we're focusing on this current assessment date.
Okay. But
Any
the
further
original-
questions, sir?
Yeah. It's not answered properly, but he's saying what he could say. Because the original one that came out is for 2025 proposed assessed value at 333,000. And then they just changed it. Somebody made the decision just to go another 100,000 higher. That's
I believe he's told you the reason for
yes,
that.
I
Yeah,
know.
correct.
Somebody
Myself,
made a decision.
Here, let's have.
Correct, the preview letter would be 2025, so that's not post-reference. We sent out two preview letters, so the first one will be the initial model value. And then in the time frame between the next letter, if we have time to review the property or if the homeowners call in, we can review the property, and if there's changes made, it'll be reflected on the next preview letter we sent it. So that's what had happened. The first preview letter went out, we had reviewed it. I'm not 100% sure of the reason why we reviewed it, but the second 2025 preview letter would have shown that updated amount. So I apologize for that.
Okay. Is that clearer now, Mr. Medill?
I guess I have to accept it. It's somebody's decision, and that's basically what it's ended up. He's saying
In essence,
somebody's decision that's working there in the department.
he's told
And
you.
to me,
the reason
that's
why
not
they needed to
acceptable,
change,
but
sir.
I have to live with it.
Yep. Any further questions, sir, or can we move on?
No further questions right now.
Thank you very much. Mr.
You're
Carlin, you have questions of the assessor at this time?
I just have one quick question. The policy change to not discount because of a history of a grow up. That's based just on the legalization law change versus any impacts on property.
I can't say 100% for sure. I wasn't the one who made that decision, so I'm sorry I can't give an answer on that.
Is it possible that it's to do with those sales that you're showing here?
No, so these sales that I'm showing in my brief, this is when I got first reviewed this property, when it showed up on my docket, I thought that would be something valuable to bring, given that it is market evidence. I'm not too sure if the previous staff member that reviewed the property that made that decision today saw a market analysis or not, but I wanted to do my own here to get a good idea.
Thank you. I don't have any more questions.
Thank you, Mr. Carlin. Mr. Kraus, you have questions, sir?
Yeah, so just clarifying, with the grow up situation, is that across the board that has been taken, or is it just for this property? That the qualifier has been removed in terms of grow up properties?
I'm not 100% sure if there's any other properties that have had that qualifier. It's I'm not sure if it's something that previously was taken into account across the board with the department, or if this was homeowners called in, so we reviewed the property based on that. I didn't look, but as far as I'm aware, this is the only property I've seen that has had that for the fact that it was previously a grow up.
And in the past, obviously, being a grow up has reduced the value, just.
Yeah, so
within
there's
the eyes of the assessment.
yeah, and what I've learned through my research, there's two things that would have the fact that these homes may have been modified in such a way to accommodate the grow up, whether it's modifications to the foundation, electrical, humidity can damage stuff. However, all these properties I've looked and they've all permits pulled out for electrical work, some had a foundation work after the fact, the grow up was busted. So those issues were remedied, and then the stigma of it when it was illegal would have affected the value. However, based on my research here, it doesn't seem to have an impact. And all these sales I found that were previous grow ups were available online through an online search.
So you're saying that the stigma, once it became legal, that the stigma of being a grow up was reduced?
Based on what I've seen in my market analysis there that I provided.
And then in the area, do you know what the average increase has been in the area that the applicant is applying from?
I could find it. My apologies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the Fort Perry area, market region 8, we have an average area increase of 12% for 2025.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Those are all my questions. Thank you very much. Thank you, and at the end of the day, you feel that the $427,000 that is now being assessed on this property, Mr. Zabudny, is representative of the market value of this property at this point in time?
Correct, yes, based on the comparable sales I've provided. And yeah,
As well as showing the comps that you've shown that were previously roll-ups?
correct, yes. Yeah, those comps aren't, I'm not basing the sale price, but however, where they end up in this list, so. As we can see with the first one, these are organized from low to high. This particular property ended up on the high end. The next one right in the middle, I don't believe there's any negative effect to the value based on that analysis.
Fair enough. All right, those are my questions. Mr. Medill, do you have your submission this afternoon, please?
It's kind of just basically straightforward. I don't know if you got access to what I wrote. It's
I have
basically,
your letter that you sent into the board.
yeah, it's basically like a repeating of that. They're basically saying they want to put it to 427,000. That's the absolute max value of what it's worth if it was never ever a grow up or never modified. It's an original build, just like if you bought a write-off at Autopack and a car. This is just a comparison, and you rebuilt it, you could never get a value as if it was not rebuilt. If they can guarantee, send me a certificate or something in writing stating that your house is considered non degrading based on what was happened in the past, then maybe we can accept values as if it was a house built and never affected by any criminal activity. That makes sense. And also like to raise it at a reasonable amount, like which we've kind of just went over the years with some of the people working there. One of them was Nancy Flockton, reasonable amounts to get it way down the road. Once everything is removed, meaning the damaging value removed. I don't know when that time will be because it's still accessible on the internet. I can't predict that. If they can have that all removed and give me proof, and when I do searches that it's gone, that's fine. Then maybe we can get it to the actual value of 427 today. The houses beside me, they're nice houses and everything, same kind of thing. Their values are slightly lower and they've never been affected with this. Now, how can you compare that? You can't. It's just, it doesn't make any sense.
Do you have any other information that you'd like to bring to the board's attention, please?
Nothing other than that. It's just holding a degraded value that I don't have any confidence that it's being removed, the degraded value. If they can give me assurance 100% that it's removed, then they could reasonably raise it closer to that value as if it's never been there, the current value.
Okay.
That's the way, that's a reasonable way, normal way of looking at it. When you buy something that's used and damaged, you pay less of the actual value.
Okay. Questions at this point, Mr. Zvendi?
I just had one question. You put some reference links in your evidence here, and the second one in that Adobe link there. Would you agree that if there was a stigma on that list of properties that were previous grow-ups, would it affect all the properties on that list?
Of course it does. It just depends on how bad the situation was. It could be just a small 100 plant, less than 100 plant, non-modified situation. You don't know what that was. Each situation goes from minor to pretty big. And when you look at mine, you click on there, it's like 430 plants. Now you tell me what you can assess from that. Now you get that all removed, then you could raise it closer to the 427. I didn't put that on there. Your law system did, that wants to collect money from us property owners. If you want to collect the value up to the 427, please have all that removed and give me proof that it's never going to be found by a potential buyer.
Then my next question is there any physical damages that still linger on the property from the grow up that you know?
There always will be. It was repaired as close to original state at the time, but you don't know how long that's going to hold. If it's going to be you can't physically take half of the house apart and rebuild it. It doesn't make any sense. You rebuild it existing as best as you can. It's the same as what I said with the car. You rebuild it the best, the original as you can, but it never will be that same.
Yeah, that's all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kraus, do you have questions at this point?
Just one, I guess, what is the amount that you were looking for, or what do you think would be a fair assessment for your house at this point in time?
Well, you just go by what is reasonable percentage wise. And he mentioned something about 12 early, somewhere, you know, and not even remotely close to 50%. They want to raise it close to 50%. You know, somewhere between the 10 to 20 area sounds reasonable, like the 20 area, like where it is at the 333. That sounded reasonable. That you're going from 289 to 333. And then each future years, they can raise it until it finally gets to the value again down the road. But raising it in one shot, especially in these hard times, is crazy. 50%. They're looking at raising it from 289 to 427, which is 50%. 40, a high 40. So I'm saying closer to the 20 is reasonable.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Carlin, questions?
No, my questions have been answered. Thank you.
So just so I understand completely. The grow up that was on this particular property was remediated. You live in this property, sir? And you've lived there for how long?
About 12 years.
Okay. And were the whatever damages to the property repaired?
They were patched, repaired to the best that they could be to close to the original. Yeah, as much as I know, yes. But I don't know anything about inside the walls of the structural part, because that was never addressed. Like in the main part, I don't.
Do you have mold issues within your home, sir?
I take precautions to not, so not that I know of,
Okay.
but
And
because of the
did you,
situation that
so
happened in the past.
I'm trying to understand, did you do the repairs, sir? Or were they done by someone else?
The most of the affected ones were done before I bought it, and I can't say to what extreme or how far or how close to original they went. Got it to, I don't know.
So somebody obviously had given you the heads up that there had been work done on this property and that there was
Yes,
a blow up at the time prior?
yes,
So you went in with your eyes wide open on this, correct?
yes.
Okay. And you're aware that the department and the city is looking to assess taxation to you based on the fact of a market value on the reference year with a willing buyer and a willing seller. You know that definition, sir?
I guess so. Well, we are going up. We're going up from 289 to 333, that part, but they going to 427 is bringing it to a number that the house has never been affected.
Well, let me ask them the question this. At the end of the day, you've been living in this home, and if you were to sell it today or at the reference date, are you saying you would have sold it for 333,000? Or would you have sold it for whatever the market could bear at the time, sir?
Well, it's that's a pretty simple question to answer. You sell it for whatever the highest sum he's gonna want to pay for it. We don't know what that is.
Okay. Those are my questions. Any final summation, Mr. Sedemny?
Just that I feel like I got a good range of comparables here, which support the value, the 2025 assessed value, coupled with a market analysis, which shows no evidence of any sort of negative effect to value based on the fact that the subject property was a previous grow up, and I believe the 2025 assessed value of 427 is well supported.
Thank you very much. Mr. Medill, do you have any final thoughts on this, sir?
I would just, yeah, I would appreciate if there could be some kind of relief to not have that large amount in one shot. Like towards a 50% raising it based on all of the arguments we've been talking about and went through. That's basically what I'm looking for is do it slowly over time.
Thank you very much.
And hopefully they can help me and work with me of getting that stuff removed, that nobody can do the research and it pop up, hey, I want to pay less because of this happened in the past. Can you prove that it's not affected? or gonna affect my health in the future. I don't know. You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
Thank you for your presentation today, sir.
Thank
You'll
you.
hear back, you'll hear back from us once we've made a decision. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I appreciate it. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you. All right. Back and forth. And that is 92 Point West Road, I believe.
I'll just let
That's
Mr. Martins in here.
Yeah.
Mr. Martins, you can hear us okay? Sorry, you're still muted, sir.
Muted, sir.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Would you please swear him in, please?
Sure. Mr. Martins, please state your full name.
Gary James Martins.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Zabudny, we have your presentation at this point.
Of course. Subject property is roll number 030600369000, also known as 92 Point West Drive. It is in the neighborhood of Richmond West. It is a 3-level split, single family dwelling built in 1985 with an effective year built in 1985. Living area of the subject property is 1,062 square feet. It has a full/part area basement, and the basement is finished. We have 2 full bathrooms on the property and 1 shower. There is central air conditioning on the property, and we have 1 fireplace. It has a multiple attached garage, and it also has a sunroom. Sits on a lot of 8,250 square feet with a retention pond adjacent influence. We have the 2025 assessed value at $444,000. I have 3 comparables to present today. All the comparables are in the Richmond West neighborhood. Comparable 1 is a 3-level split, while comparable 2 and 3 are 1-story dwellings. They're all single family dwellings that are built within the range of 1983 to 1986. We have effective age ranging between 1986 to 1995, with a square footage range of 1,000 square feet to 1,327 square feet. All the comparables are on full basement, with comparable 1 being on full/part area basement. All comparables have basement finish. Comparable 1 has 2 full bathrooms and 1 shower. Comparable 2 is 1 full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms and a shower. And comparable 3 is 1 full bathroom and 1 half bathroom. All the comparables have central air conditioning. All the comparables have a fireplace. Comparable 1 has a multiple attached garage, while comparable 2 and 3 have a single attached garage. We have a lot size range of 5,000 square feet to 6,428 square feet. Comparable 2 has a retention pond adjacent influence, while comparable 3 has bus route, external corner, and medium traffic. These sales took place between June of 2021 to December of 2022, with a sale price ranging between $410,000 to $429,000. We have a sale price per square foot range of $310 to $410 per square foot, with a time adjusted sale price ranging between $398,000 to $442,000, and a time adjusted sale price per square foot of $333,000 or $333 to $415 per square foot. It's my recommendation to maintain the current assessment of $444 for 2025 as supported by these comparable sales. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions of the assessor at this time, sir?
Not directly, no. 1,000 square feet of my lot is in water. I'm not sure if you know that. I own part of the pond behind me, so it's unusable. It's just a moot point. When you say 1,300 square feet on a bungalow, that's more like 2,000 square feet with a finished basement. I have, as you said, usable space in my house of 1,062 square feet. So when you say bungalow with a finished basement, that's about double the size of my house. Well, yeah, I had nothing, no questions, I suppose, no. But I've unfortunately, I guess, dealt with 4 other assessors in the last 10 years, which I'll address.
All right. Those are your questions, sir?
For the assessor,
Yeah.
essentially.
Thank you, Mr. Martins. I appreciate it. Mr. Carlin, do you have questions for the assessor at this point?
That doesn't
I do
mean,
not.
sorry, that doesn't mean
Oh,
that.
sorry. Did I? Go ahead.
I just wanted to make sure that that wasn't my whole time here. Like I have.
No,
other
you're
things to
going to
say.
have an opportunity to
Okay.
present your
Great.
information once we are finished asking questions at that point.
Okay.
So give us a moment or two while we go through the steps, please. Thank you.
Yep, no worries.
Carlin, sorry.
No worries. No, I have no questions for the assessor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kraus, questions?
I have no questions, thank you.
Thank you very much. And I believe I have no questions either. So, Mr. Martins, would you like to walk through your presentation this afternoon, please?
Well, I don't have any comparisons. I've done my comparisons each spring. What I've noted here, I'm guessing you've read my brief or my notes. Okay. I'd like to state them again. For the record, I guess if somebody sometime in the future happens to watch this, you said this is being recorded in public knowledge.
It is, sir.
Okay.
We'll be safe for from here on.
Yep. No, I get that. There's certain things I wanted to emphasize. There's certain things that don't need to be read. A lot of this is what I present every 2 years of not taking it personally because I am fairly adamant each spring, every second spring. And what I've written down here proves it. When you come in and I'm not sure what it was, 370 or 380. At the assessed year that I bought my house for 329 and then price adjusted it to 313. Like, what am I supposed to think? Everybody's done the math there. I'm hoping that they all have.
Sorry, so you said you had bought your place at 329, sir?
In 2014-ish, yes.
Okay, and then you said something that was adjusted?
You have some sort of price adjustment here. I'm guessing it's for
That's
the,
at the time, sir, correct?
yes, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. My apologies. Go ahead.
No apologies. The assessment that came at the time from your group, whoever it was for around 370, I believe, or 380. So I sat down with the assessor because I went, something's got to be different here, or I don't understand something. And 5 minutes into it, I said, well, when is this assessment date for? And he said, well, it's for last April. And I said, I bought my house last May or whatever for 329, and you're telling me it's worth 370 or 380. So that's when the process started. And that's why I've done this every 2 years. And every 2 years, I've met with an assessor in spring. I've stated my case, and every single year you've readjusted yours to basically agree with most of my argument that my house is very small, that I've done no improvements. So here we are. Last year's was 372, I believe, and I've done no improvements. Now all of a sudden you want to say for whatever reason in the last 2 years, my house is worth twice as much more than in assessed value than my neighbor's has increased. The area I'm in has about 10% assessment increase if I've done my math right on your website, and you want to raise mine 19.3%. And the numbers just don't make sense. One thing you can't assess is that you haven't come into my house. I'm not sure if you've gone into those other comparable houses virtually. I'm not sure if you've looked up the real estate pictures at the time. I'm not sure what they would prove or disprove. But if you went into my house, I've got stains on my 30-year-old carpet. I've got MacTac on my crumbling cupboards. It's an original kitchen. Don't know what else to say. You want me
What
to
do you
reread?
feel your value should be on your place, Mr. Martins?
Well, last spring I talked to somebody. Basically 6 minutes in, they started saying, and I've written this in my brief, that my house is an anomaly. It's very small. It's had no improvements. People keep looking at it and, well, that's got to sell for this and that. And that's basically the same thing I've heard every 2 years for the last 10 years. They told me that I will be doing this every 2 years because it's an anomaly and it will always happen this way. I mean, I have 14 feet of free space on the south side and 11 feet of free space on the north side of my house. That's a side lot. That's how small my house is. And one of the last things I guess I'll emphasize is that your page 1 and page 2 of the instructions I have contradict themselves. Municipal Assessment Act provides that all properties in the city of Winnipeg are reassessed utilizing an updated reference date. I get that. In your words, this means your assessment should reflect what your property would have reasonably sold for on the reference date in its current physical condition. Now you go to page 2. Issues such as needing shingles, roof repairs, window replacement, repainting, worn carpet, flooring, dated finish on your property will not lower the assessed value. So in my brief, what it would have reasonably sold for in its current physical condition, and then 2 sentences later you said all these things won't lower the assessed value. Well, what is the assessed value? The first page or the second page? That does not make sense. You should really consider rewording that or changing it. Sorry, I get nervous when I'm in meetings like this.
That's okay. Make the points that you need to make, sir, and we will listen to that.
Okay. You asked, and I go rambling on, you asked what my house should be valued at.
Yep.
I don't know. All I know is that the house that I went on the website today for active sales, there was a flip at the end of my road. A 16 or 1700 square foot house with a full basement, 2-car garage, sold for $410,000. And that later sold for 510. That is similar, not similar in the as in housing, as a similar situation to my house. If somebody came in and bought it for X amount and did all the work that those people did to that house, yeah, it would sell for a lot more. It's nowhere near $440,000 right now. What it's worth, I don't know. Do I like $404,000 that I quoted here? No. That's what I agreed with your, I'm not sure if it was an assessor or what in the spring.
Sure, you would have been speaking to an assessor, sir.
Okay. I mean, I can reread my brief. I'm hoping that you've read it in earnest. I made some notes today. I have notes from last spring. Sorry, I'm just looking over what's pertinent here. I don't want to waste any more of your time.
Well, if you feel that you've put in what you need to put in, then we'll move on to questions, sir. If you have missed something, I'll give you a moment to see if you've missed anything.
Nope, I think I'm good.
Thank you, Mr. Martins. Mr. Kraus, do you have a question with this? Oh, sorry. Mr. Tesser, do you have questions at this point?
No, I do not. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Mr. Kraus, do you have questions at this point?
Just with regards to, you had mentioned a couple of things, you had said that some of your property is underwater.
I live back onto a retention pond, and by trade, I'm a surveyor, so I check things out. And myself and 5 of my neighbors own about 18 feet into the water.
And that's always the case, like or is it just, it comes and goes with spring and summer or winter?
No, when it rains, I own more. Or I lose more real estate because the water rises, and yeah, I lose about 5 feet of my property in the back to water, and then it recedes.
Okay. And
It's
does
an
it
anomaly.
recede back to the original position, or does it recede back to a new normal?
Does what, the water?
Yeah,
Yeah, the water has its own normal. I'm sure whatever floodgate they have is set at a certain elevation.
so what you're saying is that your lot size is not 8,250 just because a certain amount of it is underwater all the time.
Well, it's a consideration, yes. I'm losing about 1,000 square feet of land, as are my neighbors.
Continuously though.
Yes,
And then you also make reference to that your lot size, you've got 11 feet on the north side and 14 feet on the south side.
yes,
Is that the sides, or is that the front and back of the house, or is that the sides of the house?
that's the sides. My lot is the same as size as my neighbor's lots. And I have 14 and 11 is what, 25 feet of clear space on combined on each side. That's how small my house is.
Okay, thank you.
Much. Mr. Carlin, questions at this point?
Just a quick question. So just on the extra space on each side, you're on a standard, what, 50-foot lot-ish?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's all my questions.
Thank you very much. And I think my questions have been asked and answered. Thank you very much. Any final thoughts, Mr. Zabel?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Martins, any final thoughts before we go?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you for your time.
We thank you for your time, sir, and your submission. You'll be getting a written order from us in due course.
You said that's by registered mail, so I have to go to a post office to pick it up.
I'm not sure how it's gonna work, sir. At this point,
Oh, I think they're emailing them.
are they emailing it out? Yeah, so check your emails. There'll be something coming out, I'm sure shortly.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Do I have to leave this meeting or how do I get out of here?
You can leave the meeting if you choose, and you can watch if you want to continue watching. That's your prerogative, sir.
I'll remove you from the meeting, but you're still able to follow along if you wanted to watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
I sent you a link in the email there.
So,
That's,
thank you.
Thank you very much. Good day.
You too.
Mr. Sabagi. I think we move on to item 7 at this point.
But yeah.
Sheldon Call?
That's item 8.
No.
Numbers.
Number
Oh, my
7 is
apologies. Yeah,
Shel-
yeah, here.
Sheldon. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. Sheldon Call. Sheldon Call.
Sheldon Cole.
Sheldon Call. All I'll say. All I'll say. Okay.
Can you
No,
hear
they
me,
don't.
Mr. Ju? You can hear us okay, Mr. Ju? I'll just ask you to unmute here. There you go.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I think my
Hang on.
okay, yeah,
We're first gonna have you sworn in by
okay.
the administrative personnel first, so please.
Mr. Ju, can I get you to state your full name?
My name is Su Qiang Zhou.
And do you affirm that the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Pardon?
The evidence you're about to give at this hearing will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Do you affirm the evidence you are about to give will be the truth?
I didn't understand what
I'm asking you to swear to the fact that you're going to give evidence and you're going to tell the truth when you're giving evidence, sir. That's
Yeah,
what I'm asking.
yeah.
So you are. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Yeah. Now we're going to hear from the assessor first.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Okay.
we're going to give you an opportunity to ask questions of the information the assessor puts in.
Okay.
Okay, so just bear with us for a moment and you can follow along with the assessor's brief that's been sent to you. Mr. Zabani, go ahead.
So the subject property is roll number 0306001680, also known as 50 Chaldecott Cove. It is in the neighborhood of Richmond West. It is a one-story single-family dwelling built in 1983 with a effective year built of 1983. We have 1,090 square feet of living area with a full basement. The basement is finished. We have 2 full baths, central air conditioning, 1 fireplace, and an attached single garage. The dwelling sits on a lot that's 5,543 square feet. We have the 2025 assessment at 418,000. I have 4 comparables I'd like to present today. They are all in the neighborhood of Richmond West. They are all one-story single-family dwellings with a year built range of 1978 to 1985 and an effective year built range of 1978 to 1990. Square footage of the comparables ranges from 1,000 square feet to 1,136 square feet. They all have full basements. They all have basement finish. Comparable 1, 2, and 3 all have 1 full bathroom, 1 half bathroom, and 1 shower. While comparable 4 has 2 full bathrooms. All the comparables have central air conditioning, and comparable 2 and 3 have a fireplace, while comparable 1 and 4 do not. All the comparables have single attached garages, other than comparable 3, which has a multiple attached garage. We have a lot size ranging from 4,286 square feet to 5,851 square feet. Comparable 2 and 4 have a commercial adjacent influence, while comparable 1 has bus route, hydro transformer box, and medium traffic. Comparable 3 has no influences. These sales took place between May of 2021 to September of 2022 and had a sale price ranging from 396,000 to 415,000, with a price per square foot ranging from $364 per square foot to $400 per square foot. We have time adjusted sale prices ranging from 378,000 to 449,000, with a time adjusted price per square foot ranging from 378,000 to 405,000. It's my recommendation to maintain the current assessment of 418,000 for 2025 as supported by these comparable sales. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Savani. Mr. Joua, do you have questions for the assessor on the information he's produced?
Yeah, I have some question about it, because you talk about the comparing house, yeah. First, the first our house we use for living, not for sale, and the other things is when they are selling the house, they should be spend a lot of money to upgrade and renew the house, so that's why they can sell the good price. If they don't upgrade, they don't use money to renew and upgrade the house, how come they can sell the price like that? For example, the two
Sorry,
cars.
Mr. Zhu.
Yeah.
Question that you're asking then of the assessor is what, sir?
Okay.
I
Pardon?
want to understand your question to the assessor. I want to make sure we have it clear. You're asking why the sales are what they are, or you believe that there was something done to these properties?
Pardon?
I'm trying to understand what your question is to the assessor. Please clarify.
Okay. For example, my house, in front of my house, they have the fire hydrant and the storm drain. But in the if for example, if my house for sale, I think the one is make my house price is down.
You think your price of the house would be down because of? What was the factor you said, sir?
But
I just want to make sure we get a question that, a clear question of the assessor, please. So you feel your house price should be down because of a hydrant that's in front of your house?
yeah,
Anything else, sir?
No, and the some along my house, in my neighbor area, I think they have the same style and same area, almost beat the house, but the house, the value is lower than my house, you know. They almost I see the price, they almost in 360,000 to 390,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Zabadi, do you have an answer for him?
Yeah, so you've mentioned when someone sells their house, they usually put money into it when they go to sell it. So I looked at sale photos of all my comparables. And I just want to mention that comparable 1 is in original condition. Comparable 2 is in original condition. However, it may have had kitchen countertops at some point. I made sure to note that, and it had a bathroom vanity done at some point. Comparable 3 had some bathrooms done, and comparable 4 maybe had a kitchen countertop and a bathroom. So I made sure to find sales that weren't completely renovated at the time of sale. Houses do sell unrenovated, so I tried to find sales that were as close to that as possible.
Excuse me, sir. You know, I know you showed me the compare the house they are sell, but I have I think I want to say the house you talking about me when they are selling, I assume different house, they have different condition, you know. For example, when they are they selling the house, I talked about before, they spend much money to upgrade and renew the house. So that's why they can sell for 400,000, more than 400,000. But some house, if they don't renew, they don't upgrade, when you are a buyer, when you can spend 400,000 to buy. No, I think, you know. So I just talk to you. Different house, different condition. So, you know, when I buy my house from 2014, every 2 years I receive the document, talk to me. Oh, your house is the assessed value is increased. I'm not happy, you know.
Okay,
Yeah, because it means I need to pay more and more tax.
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
get to your presentation in a minute, sir. Are there any further questions for the assessor? Because we can have the panel members ask some questions. I may have some questions.
Yeah.
So at this point, I don't think you have any further questions. Is that correct? Sir,
Pardon?
you don't have any further questions of the assessor? We'll get to your presentation in a minute. But we have some questions possibly from the panel members, so maybe we can move on to that, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hang on, well, we're not quite done yet. Mr. Rose, do you have questions at this point?
I have no questions.
Thank you. Mr. Carlo, questions?
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Mr. Zawal, could you please go through your presentation, please? Now we have it 17 pages long. So would you like to walk through that right now, please? Go ahead, sir.
Can you repeat?
You can walk through your presentation at this point. Give us your presentation as to why you feel the assessment should be changed. You've given us a brief today, so would you like to walk through the information you've provided?
You mean the value price?
Yeah, the information you sent to the board, sir.
Yeah.
This is the time to talk about it, sir.
So you mean I need to show the information I emailed to you?
Yeah, I have that in front of me. Would you like to present it to us at this point? Would you like to talk about what you've shown here, sir?
Yeah, I send you the email. I talk to you in front of my house. I talk to you. They have a fire engine and storm lake. It's how to listen. For example, if I sell the house, for example, so that one will be maybe some people they come and see to buy. Oh, they see the fire hydrant and the storm lake, and maybe they want to get the high price, you know. So that's why I say I say I don't know how to say, and I compare the.
Can I give you a little bit of help? On the first page of your submission, sir, you provided sales of other properties. Is that correct? Are these sales prior to April 1st of 2023? Do you know, sir?
2023.
So you've provided a list of, let's see, seven different properties.
Yeah.
Let's tell you, okay.
So
you're comparing assessments, sir, correct?
Yeah.
Not sales. These aren't sales of your of these comps.
Yeah, that one is not the sale price. Because
Okay, but we cannot compare assessed values to sale prices. We can't do that. We can't use that to come up with market value, sir. Now, I can see that you are talking about a fire hydrant in front of your home, your storm drain.
Yeah.
It's causing some problems, maybe of some standing water in front of your street. I see that. Is there anything else that you'd like to draw our attention to, sir? Because it appears that you've taken some pictures.
Yeah.
I appreciate the pictures. And I'm trying to see if you've included anything else other than comps of assessments, and that looks like it's just comps of assessments, which we can't look at, sir, because they're not valid to look at. Do you have any other information you'd like to bring to our attention, sir?
So now I don't have any information, but I have a problem.
Go ahead.
You apply the selling price with my house. I just talk with that. You know, you I don't know how to say. You apply the selling house price almost same with my house, but I just mentioned the selling the house they are selling, but I told you there are different conditions.
I think the assessor said that the sales that he produced today were of largely unrenovated properties. And you're saying that that's not the case, sir? Is that what you're saying?
So I just think for that. For
Okay.
example, I said for example, 2 used car, almost same model they are selling, but if they are different miles and different maintenance records, how they won't sell the almost the same price, you know. Maybe some car if good condition they can sell to 20,000, but another one is not good condition. Maybe they are just 15,000.
Sir,
Yeah.
let me ask you the question then. How much do you feel your property is worth at the reference day for this reassessment? What do you think it should be worth, sir? The assessor says 418,000. What do you think it should be assessed at, sir?
You mean what?
What do you think it should be assessed at? I'm asking you as the owner, how much do you think you would sell that property for on April 1st of 2023?
You mean my house or what?
Yes, sir. Your house. How much would you want to have sold it for last year, April 1st?
Last year, if somebody can, I talk really, okay. If somebody can give 380,000, I can sell. No, you know, if the government now can use 480,000 to buy my house, I very happy. If they
So, am I hearing you correctly? You said 380,000 you would have sold it for as of April 1st last year? Is that what you said, sir? $380?
pardon,
Is that what you said, sir? 380,000 is the value you think it should be put to?
380,000.
That's what you think, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's have some questions at this point. Mr. Zabudny, do you have any?
No questions.
Thank you very much. Mr. Carlin, do you have questions of the applicant?
No, no questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Gross, questions?
I have no questions.
Thank you very much, and I have no further questions. We can read the rest of your submission at this point, Mr. Zhao, and we will get back to you with a decision in due course. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm so sorry. My English is no good.
That's
So-
okay.
Yeah.
We did the best we could, sir. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Thank you and good day.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Now I can.
Okay. I believe we are on to. This is item 8. That's 1143. Fairfield. Mr. Zabudny.
I'm just
Oh, sorry,
Sorry, I'm
we're
just
just
letting
waiting for
everything
the to come on, but that is where we're going next, sorry.
Rani Abraham, can you hear me?
Yep. Can you see me by any chance?
No. I'm just going to see if I can ask you to turn your camera here.
Yeah, just clicked it. Can you see?
Not yet, no.
We can hear you, sir. We can't see you. There we go.
There you go.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna swear you in, sir. Can I get you to state your full name?
Yeah, Rami Abraham.
And do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Savani, could you walk us through your presentation this afternoon?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry.
Sorry?
What?
He's gonna go through his information first.
Okay.
You're gonna have an opportunity to ask some questions.
Mhm.
And we're gonna ask some questions, and then we're gonna hear from your perspective, sir, all right?
Sounds good. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so the subject property we're looking at today is rule number 0309132860, also known as 1143 Fairfield Ave. It is in the neighborhood of Fairfield Park. It is a one-story single-family dwelling built in 2007 with an effective year built of 2007. The living area is 1,185 square feet, has a full basement, which does have basement finish. We have 3 full bathrooms on the property, no central air conditioning, and a multiple attached garage. The lot size is 5,318 square feet, and we have the 2025 assessment at 479,000. I'm presenting 4 comparables today. They are all in the neighborhood of Fairfield Park. They're all one-story single-family dwellings with a year built ranging from 2006 to 2008. We have an effective year built of range of 2006 to 2008 as well. The living area ranges between 1,221 square feet to 1,253 square feet. All the comparables have full basement. Comparable 2 and 3 have basement finish, and comparable 1 and 4 do not. Comparable 1 and 4 have 1 full bath, 1 half bath, and a shower. Comparable 2 has 2 full baths, 1 half bath, and comparable 3 has 3 full bathrooms. All the comparables have central air conditioning and all have multiple attached garages. The lot sizes range between 4,525 square feet to 5,508 square feet. The sales took place between July of 2020 to August of 2022, with a sale price ranging from 399,000 to 590,000. We have sale price per square foot ranging from $320 to $476 per square foot, with a time adjusted sale price of $472,000 to $549,000. And a time adjusted sale price per square foot ranging from $379 to $444 per square foot. It's my recommendation to maintain the current assessment of $479,000 for 2025, as supported by these comparable sales. I'd also like to note that the subject property sold in the reference period and has a time adjusted sale price of $529,000. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Questions of the assessor at this point, sir?
So I'd just like to touch upon a point that you mentioned. So for the 4 comparables that you said, do they have or do they not have central air conditioning?
Yes, they all had central air conditioning.
And the house, my house as well, it's listed as it does have or it does not have?
It does not have.
It does not. Okay, perfect. Yeah. And then the ranges of the houses that so the year ranges were from 2006 to 2008, correct?
Correct, yes.
Sounds great. And then is there any possible way for me to know the range of the values of those assessed properties?
The assessment values of these sales?
Correct, yeah. So minus 479,000, is it possible to know for those ones as well?
For this board hearing, I don't believe it would be relevant, given that we are looking at sales comparisons only.
Yeah.
But afterwards, if you would like, I can provide you with those, I could show you where to find those, yeah.
Sure, yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. So those were my questions. Should I go ahead and give any presentation?
Give us an opportunity. We'll ask the other panel members to ask questions, and then we will get to yours momentarily. So let's go through the steps, and that
Great.
way we'll get to what you have to say in a moment.
Sounds good.
Mr. Carlin, questions at this point?
No questions at this point. Thank you.
Mr. Kraus, questions?
I have no question.
Thank you very much. And I have no further questions. I just wanted to clarify the time adjusted sale price on this property was $528,000.
529,000.
29. All right. Well, sir, this is your time to give us your information if you would like to give us a presentation. This
Thank
is
you.
it.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, appreciate all the information that was given. And I was looking at some of the houses that are in my vicinity. So my neighbors, uh, a person that's right across of my house, about 2 seconds from my house, and then I was looking at their property, and it was about twice the size of mine. I'm not talking about the lot size, but the livable square footage. So mine is 1185. Theirs is approximately over to 2200, and their assessed value was 601, and mine was 479. And
Sorry,
also,
I'm just gonna interrupt you for a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but we want you to remember that we're not trying to compare assessments.
Mhm.
Here we have to compare assessments, your assessment
Mhm.
versus what would have sold for at the reference date. And if you've got properties that you can compare to that are directly similar to your place and you have a sale on that, that would be golden, sir.
Okay, so I cannot compare assessment to assessment?
No, sir.
Oh, oh, I see. Because is there any possible way for me to know how the assessed value was given to my property? Is that a thing possible?
Well, Mr. Zabubby might be able to shed some light on that if you wanna have a listen to what he has to say about that.
Yeah, so these
Please.
assessments are based off of comparable sales as we just discussed. So every 2 years, there's a reassessment where we use a different reference date for the assessed value. In this case, for 2025, it's April 1st of 2023. So basically, we're saying if your house were to sell on April 1st of 2023, this is a estimated value of what you would receive for it. And it is based on comparable sales. So we'll look at houses, similar to your build, so similar type of homes. In this case, bungalows, we want to stick with, similar square footage. And we look at the sale prices of those, to see sort of where the value should be. It's important to use more than one sale. Obviously, there's, certain things that can happen in the market. So that's why I chose 4 today. The assessed value falls within that range. And that's sort of how we come up with these assessed values. They are model driven, so we have a computer system that analyzes this data based on stats that will come up with these values. And then this is our way of manually reviewing them. I looked for 4 sales that I feel are fairly similar and came up with a range, and the assessed value that we have put in 2025 falls within that range. So
Does that
Yeah.
help, sir?
Yeah, totally makes sense because I was looking at the assessment of my property from 2022 or a year before. I think it was approximately 420,000, and then it went up about 60,000 in a single year. So it was quite shocking to see this much of an increase. So, is there any reason for that? Like, is it just that the city is growing, so the house prices are going up much higher? That's the reason for the much higher assessment value? Because usually it goes up by 10 to 20,000 a year, from my own personal experience.
yeah, so this cycle, we definitely saw a larger increase than usual. As I said, it's every 2 years, so no matter what happens in the market, next reassessment will be based on April 1st of 2025. So whatever happens previous to then would reflect the assessments. 2025 being a much larger increase than the previous cycles, just based on what happened in the market, whether that's due to an increase in demand, interest rates. It's how the market was, so that's why we would have seen a larger jump in this.
Yeah, totally makes sense. So, and that, because the reason that the reason that I'm here, it's because it was quite of an increase from the the initial assessment to this most recent assessment, and it's honestly quite out of my affordability to pay. So I was wondering if there's any possible decrease to it.
Okay, let me get to, we'll get to that in a moment, but let me try and understand or try and get what you feel the value should be. Now, you did buy this place in 2022, did you not?
Yes, correct.
And you bought it for 506,000.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, and you realize that the assessor in his presentation said the time adjusted sale price would actually be 529,000. So what he's saying when he says that is that at the reference date of 2023, April 1st, that sale that you purchased your house for would have actually gone up to 529 as of the 1st of April 2023. Now your assessment is 479,000, which is less than what you paid. And you still feel that the assessment should be lower yet, sir? And what do you think the number should be? Let me ask you that.
Honestly, with from my personal knowledge, I'd say it should be about less than 450. That's reasonable, but definitely over 420. So maybe in between about 435 to 437 and a half, maximum of 440. I would say this is quite reasonable.
Okay. You have any other evidence to bring forward at this time, sir?
I do not know.
Okay, then we will move to questions. Mr. Zabani, do you have any at this point?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you very much. And do we have questions, Mr. Kraus?
I do not, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Carlin, any questions at this point?
No, thank you.
And I think I have no further questions, so you will hear from the board in the next little while. Apparently, we will be sending a decision out by email, so please view your email box for the next little while, and you should be getting our decision at that point. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Is it possible to ask the time range that I'm going to be receiving the email in by any chance?
Usually within about 2 weeks.
Within 2 weeks.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
If you
Thank you
have
so much.
further questions, you can always contact the assessor.
Yes, I will contact you about the looking for assessments that you inquired before, either today or tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Have a great day.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, maybe we'll take a 5-minute recess, guys. What do you think?
Sounds good. Mike, I do have to recruise on the next one, right?
Okay, no worries. So we will take a 5-minute recess, please, and thank you. Thank you very much and welcome back. We are going to have Ms. Hutchinson sworn in at this point.
Ms. Hutchison, can you state your full name?
Brenda Hutchison.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're going to hear from Mr. Zavendi first, and you'll have an opportunity to ask him questions, all right?
Thank you.
Awesome. Mr. Zavendi, go ahead.
Subject property is roll number 10006384700, also known as 34 Castleton Court. It is in the neighborhood of Lindenwoods. It is a 2-story single-family dwelling built in 2005 with a living area of 2,844 square feet. It has a full basement, which is finished. We have 2 full bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms, and 1 shower. It does have central air conditioning and 1 fireplace. We have a multiple attached garage, and the dwelling sits on a lot that's 10,028 square feet. We have a retention pond influence on the subject, and the 2025 assessment roll is at 1,010,000. I'm presenting 3 comparables here today. They are all in the area of Lindenwoods. They're all 2-story single-family dwellings with a year built ranging from 1987 to 1991, and an effective year built of range of 1989 to 1997. we have a living area ranging from 2,594 square feet to 3,013 square feet. All the comparables have full basements, which are finished. Comparable one is 2 full bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms, and 2 showers. Comparable 2 has 1 full bathroom, 2 half bathrooms, and 1 shower. Comparable 3 is 3 full bathrooms, 1 half bathroom, and 1 shower. All the comparables have central air conditioning. All the comparables have 1 fireplace, with the exception of comparable 3, which has 2. All the comparables have multiple attached garages. Lot size ranges from 8,535 square feet to 14,353 square feet. Comparable 1 and 2 have a retention pond influence, while comparable 3 has a retention pond adjacent influence. We have these sales range took place between December of 2021 to January of 2023, with a sale price ranging from $988,000 to $1,349,000. We have a sale price per square foot of $359 to $448 per square foot. Taking a look at the time adjusted sale price, we have a range of $920,000 to $1,341,000. And a time adjusted price per square foot ranging from $352 to $445 per square foot. It's my recommendation to maintain the current assessment of $1,010,000 for 2025 as supported by the comparable sales. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zabek. Questions for the assessor at this point on his presentation, Ms. Usher? Go ahead.
I do have a couple of comments, yes.
Questions?
Comparable number 147, was listed at $919 and it sold for $110,000 over list price. I find this odd. Comparable number 2 sold for $121,000 over list price. Again, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. It's a very nice street. It's one of the nicer streets in the area. However, I do have a question as to why home sales would be that far over list price. There doesn't seem to be anything to support that. Comp number 3 really is not comparable. It's a large home on a really cool lot. It has the last 24 meters of its backyard are open to parkland, and it goes right down to the water. It has a 3-season sunroom that's approximately 15 by 25 feet or something, with a terrace on top. Really not comparable to this home. The 2 homes on Shoreline are more stately. It's kind of like the Wellington Crescent of this area. So having such a small sample group kind of throws me off. If we look at the presentation that I put together, I looked
You
at
have a question of the assessor now. That's what I'm looking for at this point.
a question.
Yeah, you have.
Why did you pick number 3?
Number 3 was, there's only so many pond properties that have sold in the area. Number 3 was one of them. You know, I would agree, it is of a better quality, better lot. However, the time adjusted sale price being $1,341,000 is significantly higher than the assessed value. So I wanted to make sure I captured the pond properties in the area. This one being not as comparable, I still think comparable 1 and 2 are similar enough. Like I said, comparable 3 does require some adjustments. It's larger, it's of higher quality, and a bit of a better lot, but it did sell for significantly more than the assessments.
Okay, thank you.
You have any further questions of the assessor at this time, ma'am?
No further questions.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Mr. Kraus, you have questions at this point?
Yeah, just a little clarification, I guess, based on the applicant's question. with her concerns about comp 1 and comp 2 and her comparison of Shoreline Drive versus Castleton Court. I've never been in that area, like, would you say that that's a fair evaluation, that one street is a more prestigious street than the applicant's street?
I can't say for sure, unfortunately, no, I'm sorry.
All right. And I have no further questions either at this point. Thank you. Ms. Hutchison, would you like to go through your presentation at this point?
Yes, thank you. You have it, okay, you have it in front of you.
You, thank you.
My property is currently assessed at $830,000. That's after we met 2 years ago. And so now the new assessed value of $1,010,000 is a 21% increase. That really jumped out at me. I'm not aware that property values in this area have gone up by over 20%. And so that's when I decided to step in and take a look at the other properties that have sold in the area. We don't have to look at everything on the front page. The second page just gives you a rundown of my home as it stands right now. Been here for 19 years. Everything is original and it's just fine, but it is original. It is not in the condition to sell. When I go through every single home that has been listed and sold through the 2021, 2022 years, 2023, majority of them are in for sale condition, which is great. That's the way to do it. However, as this home sits currently, it is not. If we go to slide 3, you can see that I have original well, it is original carpeting, so 19 years old with a, I'll call it an interesting wood border around it. It was not my idea, but it does have a hardwood border around it. Obviously, very dated and would need to be replaced, as well as all of the interior of the home is painted very dark colors, which suits us just fine, but would not be how you would present a home for sale. Slide number 4 shows the other flooring on the main floor. A very well-loved carpet in the family room. It's done its job. Vinyl flooring throughout the kitchen. There's no tile. There's no hardwood. I believe that in order to sell this house and have it compete with the other sales during that time, new flooring would be required on the main floor. If we go to the next slide, we can see that, again, this is a family home, so there's some bright colors, etc., that would have to be removed prior to sale, wall color. Original carpeting again. That carpeting has raised 2 wonderful kids and an aging dog and some other stuff. And then once the dog passes on, I'll probably make some changes to it. But again, it is not ready to put up for market at a full valued price. What I did on the next slide was I looked at everything in the area and I found 16 homes that had sold during the time period. I went through each one, I went online, I looked at the real estate listings, I got the details, and out of that, you can see that some of the notes are listed. When I looked at everything that sold in the area, the average price per square foot was $325.28, which would mean this home would be valued at $928,678. Now, when I cut that down, because not every home is a good comparable, I didn't cut it down to 2 or 3, but my last page shows that I took 11 homes that I could find that were similar enough, similar in square footage, similar in area, etc. Most of those, if not, well, actually all of those have hardwood floors. no carpet on the main floor anywhere. That unfortunately underlies what everyone has told me, and that is I cannot sell the house as it is for a full market value. That's fine. Okay, I can understand that. I'm not selling it at this moment. Most of these homes, or a lot of these homes, had bedrooms in the basement, which mine does not. However, I do have 4 bedrooms upstairs, a master and 3. So there was some give and take on each one, but I tried to find quite a number that were close enough. I think there's one in there that has a pool, but again, it's perhaps on not a street as nice as mine. It's 2 blocks away or something. I was trying to be as fair as possible and pull in as many homes as possible to get a price per square foot, and then multiply that by the square footage of my home. When I did that, I came up with a price, a value of 847,818. That would be if my home were to compete. Had I put my home up at the same time, 2023, probably my home should have been sold, listed at 847. Now, I would have to put at least $50,000. My bank said that my line of credit for $80,000 probably would not cover it, but we'll just say $50,000 to rip out the flooring and put in new flooring, hardwoods on the main floor, carpeting upstairs, not hardwoods upstairs, and then repaint the house into a neutral, modern color. Small stuff doesn't count. Those would just be the majors. If I did that, then my house should compete with those other ones, and therefore it should have sold, if it were ready to compete, at approximately $847,000.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Questions for Philip?
Yes, just taking a look at some of your comparables here, the 11 houses you've narrowed it down to, were you aware that there's only 2 properties that have sold that have the pond influence to them?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
I looked at everything. I'm very familiar with the neighborhood. Absolutely.
Okay, and then I take it you had access to the sales listings for these properties, correct?
Yes, through the City of Winnipeg website, I got the original list, and then access to all the listings just online, Googling them, and then finding the real estate agent's listing. Lots of them had videos that went with.
Okay, and then so the two comparables here, their list 135 and 147 shoreline. Would you agree that they're largely original condition? Based off the
One
photo?
of them's had the kitchen redone. The other one I don't know of. Other than that, the walls were all painted. There was some navy blue on the main floor of 147, I believe. They did leave all the original oak, but all the houses, both houses were painted neutral, with the exception of the navy blue accents on the main floor of the one.
Okay, and I guess last question, do you believe that the pond would have a positive or a positive influence on the sale price of the home?
Yes, I think it comes into bearing the same thing, the same way, living on Lindenwood Drive, probably, which is more of a thoroughfare, probably has a lower value than living 1 or 2 streets off. In this area, Shoreline, Shorecrest, Waterbury, and part of Royal Crest, those are the big streets. Those are the ones that have the big backyards that back out onto the lake. There's some other smaller ones like me, and I do have, I can see the lake out my back. The walking path is approximately 10 feet from my fence, where the shoreline ones, it's probably 30 feet or more. 147 Shoreline, Comp 1, actually has a park on one side. No neighbors. I mean, my neighbors' houses are, I don't know, 20 feet between our houses or something like that. So yes, I can see water. Yes, they can see water. But there is a difference. It would almost be like saying they have a water influence. They should be comparable to the homes across the lake from them. Now, those homes across the lake have walkout basements and giant yards and massive swimming pools. There's no comparison. There's a smaller comparison. And I guess that's what I'm saying here is looking straight on at an outline kind of map. Yes, in real life, it's not quite equal comparison.
Okay, thank you. No more questions.
Thank you very much. And questions, Mr. Kraus, this time?
Just a couple. Did you go to the board at your last assessment? Or the
Yes.
one that was at 8:30?
Yes, we did this exact same thing. I think it was during the pandemic, so it was for sure Zoom.
Okay. And it was reduced at that time, or was it?
Pardon
Was your
me?
assessment reduced, or was it just maintained?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Was your assessment reduced at that time?
Yes,
And I just want
yes,
to,
it was reduced to 8:30 from, I think it was 9 something at the time. It was reduced to 8:30 based on, again, both sets of comparables that were presented.
and then just to clarify, want to make sure you have 2 full baths and 2 half baths?
1, 2 full upstairs. Yes, 1, 2 half. Yes.
And then you also say that 72% of your basement is finished, it's not fully finished.
That's correct. There's just a rec room down there. It has a wet bar and there's a bathroom, no shower, and there's no bedroom. There's just unfinished storage space is the rest.
Okay, and you have 4 bedrooms upstairs.
Yes.
Thank you.
One's very small, but it would make a nice nursery.
Thank you.
All right, with respect to your comps on your last page of your presentation, would you think that the 2 properties on Shoreline, 135 and 147, are they the most comparable to your property, ma'am?
No,
Why is that?
because they're on Shoreline Drive. That's like saying I live on Montrose and I think there's a house on Wellington Crescent, not on the riverside, that is a comparable. No, no. I would say that the Lindenwood Drive ones are not great comparables either. Marksbridge Drive is good. Queens Park Crescent is good. Royal Crest is very close by. I think it has a pool though, but I happen to know that house. It's right at the start of Royal Crest, so I don't think its location is as desirable as mine. The Shore Crest, the Shore Drives, those and the Waterburys. I mean, those are all way nicer streets. Not every single house. There's one on Waterbury that is not on the water. No, there isn't. 60 and 28 or 89. Both of my Waterburys are not on the water. You had a Waterbury that was on the water. I've got ones on the other side of the street.
The assessor had one at at 89 Waterbury. And that.
Yeah, that's a pretty
was the
cool
one-
house.
That was a little bit bigger than yours by about 160 square feet approximately.
Circle driveway, big circle driveway, and a 3-room or a 3-season sunroom that might not be included in the square footage. And then the whole top of that is a terrace. And so you look out over the park and over the lake.
Yeah, and I can
Yeah,
see
that
by
one's-
by
that
the
one's
sale price on
awesome.
that one, that it's quite a bit higher than yours, man. Yes?
Yes, yes.
That would be logical in your mind?
Logical that it is not comparable?
That it's much nicer than yours.
Yes,
Okay,
it's a different house.
understood. And then me looking at the comparables, certainly 147 shoreline to me, in terms of the size of the building itself, you're within 22 square feet of the property there. And in terms of your influences, you're the same. Your lot is about 1,400 square feet smaller. And that time adjusted sale price was 1,011,500. And you're assessed at $1,010,000. Do you not think that a house that close in size and retention pond influence on it also, you don't think that makes a pretty good comp for your property, man?
No, I don't.
All right.
No, I'm sorry. As I say, shoreline is definitely different. If you're talking 147 shoreline, you have a park beside you. And as I stated, both those homes were listed for over $100,000 under what they sold for. So unless two separate real estate agents really made a oops, I think there's something going on.
Well, I'm not sure what to make of that comment, other than marketplace tells us what those sales are. We can only guess what the market's going to do, and ultimately, a property's put up for sale and it goes for over list. That's the number that it is. It's willing buyer, willing seller. And you could list your property for 847,000, 48,000, and someone offers you $1,200,000 for it. I bet you dollars to donuts, you're gonna take that number. And I'm saying it facetiously, but at the end of the day, it's what will someone pay you for your property? And that's really the question that we have to try and answer.
Yep, that's very true. I would be very happy if my property could sell tomorrow for $1,000,000. I would be thrilled. If I did not have to put any work into this house and I could list this house and sell it for close to $1,000,000, I would be very happy. The
All
home
right.
next door sold last year. It was listed for close to 1,000,000 and it took months and months. It's much larger. I just do not feel that I could list this house tomorrow and sell it for $1,000,000. Not on this street, not the condition that my home is currently in. Trust me, when I'm ready to sell, I'll knock it out of the park, but not yet.
Thank you very much. If that is your information for the afternoon, I thank you again for your presentation. We will get back to you with a decision as soon as possible. I understand from the board that they will be sending it via email, I believe.
Okay,
So
great.
be looking for it, please.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Thank you for your time today and for listening to my presentation. I appreciate it.
Thank you and good day.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Should I let them know what you need as well, or?
Yes, please. Welcome back, Mr. Carlin.
I missed you guys.
It's all good.
And Mrs. Out, can you hear us as well?
You're muted, sir. Sorry, or miss, sorry.
Would you like to be muted or?
You know,
Not
we'd
you.
rather have you unmuted so we can hear you. We want to make sure we can hear you.
Okay, yes. All right.
Sorry, my apologies. All right, so this is item number 14. 55. Marksbridge.
Correct, yes.
Okay, so we're gonna hear from the assessor in a moment, but we're gonna have you sworn in first.
Okay.
Right, Mrs. Zhao, can I get you to state your full name?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you state your full name?
Yes.
What is your full name?
Amani Izzo.
Do you affirm the evidence you're about to give at this hearing is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. So now we're going to hear from the assessor. And then
Okay.
you have an opportunity to ask questions. We'll ask some questions. And then we'll get around to your presentation, all right?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Bundy, go ahead.
Subject property is roll number 10000802000, also known as 55 Marksbridge Drive. It is in the area of Linden Woods. It is a two-story single-family dwelling built in 1999 with an effective year built of 1999. The living area is 2,425 square feet. It has a full basement, which is finished. We have 3 full bathrooms, 1 half bathroom, and 1 shower. Central air conditioning, 1 fireplace, multiple attached garage. It sits on a lot that's 6,065 square feet. We have the 2025 assessment at 750,000. Presenting 4 comparables today. They're all in the Linden Woods area. They're all 2-story single family dwellings with a year built ranging from 1999 to 2000. We have a living area range of 2,041 square feet to 2,638 square feet. All the comparables have full basement and they have basement finish. Comparable 1, 3, and 4 have 2 full bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms, and 2 showers, while comparable 2 has 2 full bathrooms, 1 half bathroom, and 1 shower. All the comparables have central air conditioning and all have 1 fireplace. We have multiple attached garages on all the comparables, and the lot size ranges from 5,912 to 6,023 square feet. Comparable 1 has a hydro transformer box influence. These sales took place between April of 2022 to October of 2022 and have a sale price ranging from 659,000 to 827,000, with a sale price per square foot ranging from $313 to $348 per square foot. Time adjusted sale price ranges from 663,000 to 780,000, with a time adjusted sale price per square foot ranging from $295 to $349 per square foot. My recommendation is to maintain the current assessment of 750,000 for 2025 as supported by the comparable sales. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Zabadi. Do you have questions at this point?
For me, no, not now.
You don't
Maybe at
have
the end.
questions of the assessor and what he presented, correct?
Well, I have only one thing. The house number 3, 34 Marksbridge, it's 827. Okay, this house is right in front of me, like in my street. This house is cap over house, so I think there is 4 bedrooms upstairs, so that's why it was sold for this number, 827,000. So that's why it is expensive. It's cap over, and it was like completely renovated kitchen. I'm not sure if there's something to be considered in the sale price, but I visited this house on the open house like 2 years ago. It was completely renovated, kitchen, bathrooms, floors, everything.
So are you asking the assessor if he knows that if it was renovated? Is that your question?
Yes, it is renovated.
Okay.
On this side. Yeah.
Sorry, we're trying to take questions at this point. Go ahead, Mr. Zawadi.
Yeah, and I believe that's why the property sold for, on the higher end there, at 827,000 with a time adjusted of 780 was due to that. And also the square footage of comparable 3 is higher than your property, but we do have your property assessed lower than the time adjusted square footage, so time adjusted sale price there, so that's why I threw that one in there. I don't deny that it is of a does have superiority, but we do have a sale price that's higher than your assessment, so just like that in there.
Any further questions? That's all?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Carlin, would you have any questions for the assessor?
No questions, thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have questions, sir?
I have one, just following up with the question from the applicant. This is with regards to 34 Marks Bridge,
Correct.
and so you were saying, just to clarify, you've got the subject assessment square feet at 309 and Marks Bridge is at 295.
Yeah, so why I don't like using a price per square foot in residential is it's a couple of reasons. It's not a linear. It's not something that's linear, so it's kind of on a bell curve. So a house that's let's say 900 square feet versus 1,000, the extra 100 square feet is going to have a really high impact on the price per square foot. That extra 100 feet has a lot more impact than a house that's, let's say, 2,500 square feet versus 3,000. That extra 500 doesn't have as much of an impact. There's also the argument that price per square foot doesn't take into account the land value, any outbuildings, basement finish. So I try to look at these strictly the time adjusted sale price there to base my decisions on whether or not I believe the value is supported, and I tend to look away from the price per square foot. Also, a higher square footage size on a dwelling will have a lower price per square foot.
And so you have taken into account per issues with that.
Correct, yes, based on the time adjusted sale price of the comparable 3 and the assessed value of the subject, I believe it's a reasonable adjustment there.
Great, that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kraus. And I don't think I have any questions at this point, so we would love to hear your presentation at this point.
Right, okay, so I'm okay with all the comparisons that came here, like 50 Marks Bridge. This is the same one I put on for the comparison. It's nearly just like my house, and it was sold for 695. And 58 Marks Bridge is the same. It sold was 745. So most of these houses, because they are my neighbors and I know most of them, so I'm like visiting them and I know their houses. Most of these houses were renovated, especially 34, of course, and 58 as well. Two houses were completely renovated, brand new kitchen. My house, I didn't do so much renovating except for the roof. It was leaking, so I just changed the sunroof. That's all I'm done in the last 11 years. So this is too much for my house, 750. So yes, so it's even higher than the other houses, like higher than 50 Marks Bridge and higher than 58, higher than 37. So it's so high. So I was wishing just to make it like a little bit lower than that, please.
All right.
Yeah.
I noticed that you've included some information with your submission today. Some sales that took place on your street and around and adjacent to it. Would you like to talk about those?
Well, yes, I did some search and I found like some houses. It's not in my street, but they are in the area, in the Linden Woods area. It's 546 Birdmore Boulevard. This one was sold for 575 on July 22nd. And 112 Birdmore Boulevard as well. It was sold on June 2021 for 515. And 15 Deer Run Drive. It was sold for 628 on October 2021. These are not in my street, but still in the area, like in Linden Woods area as well. So these houses are very similar to mine, and that was the sold price for the 3 or 4 of these. And of course, number 50 Marks Bridge, this one in my street, it was sold for 695.
And do you know the size of those properties that you are pointing to there?
Right. Yeah, they are slightly smaller than mine.
Okay. And
Yeah,
when you say slightly smaller, could you define that a bit better?
they are slightly smaller than mine, so that's why they are were sold for this price point, like 500, 515, 575, and so on. So my house is 750. I think it's like expensive. I think my house would get like 680 or 685 max if it's gonna sell it in this market with this condition, with my house condition.
So 680 to 685 is what you're suggesting?
Yes.
All right. Anything else you want to bring up?
No, thank you. It's all done.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Oh, hang on, we've got some questions. Don't go away yet.
Yeah, sure.
Rose, do you have any questions? Oh, sorry. Mr. Zabud, I'm going right around you again. My apologies, Mr. Zabud.
I don't have a question.
Go ahead.
I do not have a question. thank
Oh,
you.
well, there we go. I anticipated. No, sorry. Mr. Kraus, questions.
I do not have any questions at this time.
Mr. Carlin, questions at this point?
Just a question of clarification. So the 2 of the 4 comparables, the 2 on Beardmore, that's more Fort Richmond, is it, or is that still Linden Woods?
It's Fort Rich. No, it's Fort Garry, Linden Woods, both of them.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and I don't believe I have any further questions either. So, with that being said, we will get a decision to you via email, I'm told, in due course. So be looking for that email in the next little bit.
Okay.
And we thank you for your presentation this afternoon.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
you.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye. Okay. Yeah.
And with that, I think we've heard all the properties on the docket today. Oh, sorry, item 1. You are correct. We have not heard that one. So, Mr. Zabudny, would you like to read this in and tell me if you've had any contact with this owner?
Yeah, should I read it in first and then?
Read it in and then we'll hear from what you have to say, please.
Okay, so subject property is roll number 120-401-7500, also known as 276 Yale Ave. It's in the neighborhood of Crescentwood. It's a 2.5-story multifamily conversion. We have a year built of 1911 with a effective year built of 1911. Living area, we have 2,797 square feet. Basement type is full basement, and we do not have basement finish. We have 2 full baths, no central air conditioning, and 1 fireplace. We have a detached single garage with a lot size of 6,325 square feet. 2025 assessment rule is $507,000. Would you like me to go into the comparables as well?
I don't think we need to go through the comparables. We can see what you presented. What was the scenario with the owner on this one?
So, given the property has some permits for some extensive structural work on it, as well as some modifications to the home. I had made contact, or I have attempted to make contact with the homeowner via email I sent on November 19th, 2024, requesting inspection of the property as we are unsure of the interior condition, and we would like to view it in order to properly assess it. I never received any contact back. I have viewed the exterior of the property, which shows some significant changes to the exterior. So at this point in time, would like to request that we maintain the assessment based on the fact that we are unsure of the interior condition or interior condition of the property.
And you made contact with the owner back in, what, 3 weeks ago, I guess?
I attempted contact, yes, November 19th, 2024, sent an email to the applicant's email that they have left on the application at 3:45 PM.
All right. And obviously no response,
No response yet.
nothing that was sent to the board at this point, Phoebe?
We have not received a brief.
Well, I think, we'll take that under advisement then. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
With that, now, I believe we've, heard all the items scheduled, and this hearing now is adjourned. So thank you very much, everyone, for your help and patience on this one. Thank you very much.